5 it always has to like make the shit look like really, really like zoomed out. Retouch. What the hell is all that? You just see like the camera zooming in aggressively. Sorry, I didn't realize you could zoom in. Huh. Interesting. Well, welcome everyone to episode 20 of An Evening with 112. I didn't think that I was gonna do it this week. Uh but hey, what's going on, Triple D? How are you? I didn't think that I was gonna do a stream this week. Just haven't been in the just been a very frustrating week, I think. Um but yeah, and I don't really think there's much toy wise to talk about, so I'm gonna just kind of talk about my like 3 months worth of shit that I had come in the mail from Big Bad Toy Store, and I might open my Mezco Ghostface live on here since I am kind of curious how that figure turned out. Um, but it's going right back in the box because I'm not having like dust particles getting stuck to the fabric or anything like that. It's too nice of a figure. But in terms of like stuff to look forward to, I did take some really great pictures of the Jada Toys David and Lucy, which makes me really happy at the fact that these figures actually turned out fantastic. Now, if I have to at least say something, and this may be a bit of favoritism, but I think I prefer, at least in terms of posing, I've been having more fun posing Lucy more than David. Um, but I think it's also because of the fact that this is like David towards the end of Edge Runners instead of us getting like the kind of skinnier kid David like before he started putting on a lot of chrome. Um, so I kind of wish that we had gotten that version of David, but I do really like what they did here in terms of the soft goods, because the jacket is really nice and it does fit over Lucy, so you can take pictures of her with the jacket, and I've seen a couple of people do it where they've had her wearing David's jacket. Um, and it's really nice. It has a bendy wire in it. Um, and like it doesn't feel cheap, which is cool. His pants are really nice too. They're like a nice stretchy material, so it doesn't feel like they're gonna tear at the seams or anything if you pose them too much. The only thing I don't like is the chain is like really, it's like beyond cheap. It's like chintzy. Because it's just a gold. It's literally just a gold uh string that's tied with a cross on it. I kind of wish they had just given us like a bendy wire for the for his chain, or just given us just a metal chain, even if it's not that long, just something to go around his neck to just be like, hey, here's a chain for him that doesn't look chintzy. So at some point, I'm gonna have to figure out how to make him a chain. I know Articulated Ninja made one, um, so we'll probably figure out that at some point. But yeah, these figures are fantastic. Very, very good figures. I don't really have any issues with any of them. Head sculpts are great. Paint work is fantastic. Um, I don't know if it was with mine, but I posed after a posing session with Lucy, her like the lower ball joint in the torso got loose, but I was able to pop that apart, put a little bit of clear nail polish in it, um, and just waited for that to dry, popped it back on, and it's perfect. It has enough friction in there to keep doing its thing. Something else that I had in my pile of loot was one of these, the other arcade machine for super action stuff. So I got all the cool accessories with it too. And these are really nice for like the 30 something dollars that you get or that you pay for it. I think you get like about 30 different items, like get a hockey stick, a set of hockey sticks, a set of pucks, like a VR headset, a Nintendo Switch, spray paint cans, just all kinds of stuff that you could use for different pictures. Um, so I mean, it works out, man. I really like the way that um, Super Action stuff does their uh, their props. Because I mean, you could go to Hobby Lobby and get um, props there, but not all of them are 1/12 scale. You kind of have to fudge around with uh, the the scaling with that stuff. I know whenever I go to Hobby Lobby, I always get the soda cans. I always load up on the soda cans. Um, just because you never know, if you end up building like a street dio or an alleyway and you need, crushed up cans, you can just kind of pinch some of the Hobby Lobby cans and dent them, and then you can just glue them to the floor. So it works out. But then they also had this too, which I've never seen before. I think I bought the other when I was getting stuff for the mystery machine for the fridge, which you can see in the corner of the fridge. Um, I think that I think that I bought this pack, but some of the things in it were different. So I think this is the original version of it, which this came out in 2017. So I don't know how long these have been sitting in their warehouse for, but it is the let me move this lovely lady over here. But it was this right here, the Super Action stuff um, pack. What is it? The Super Foodie series. So I think I already have this, but like I said, I think there's variations between the two. Like the cell phone is different. I think the bottle of whiskey is different, but I'll have to go through my stuff and look because I've been trying to organize everything. Next week, I'm gonna hit up Daiso again for Jay Gonzo and see if I can find anything that his Daiso stores don't have, and then I'm gonna grab another storage container because I have a lot of props from Daiso that I need to either separate and organize, or there's some that are still in the package. Like I have folding chairs I never put together. I have barricades that I never put together that I was gonna get for just to have for dios. So I'm gonna have to put those together and then start uh, compacting my stuff and organizing it a little bit better. But anyway, yeah. So if you're looking for like cheap 1/12 scale props, these are great. You get all different kinds of food accessories. You get a little cell phone. You get a pizza box. The pizza box doesn't open, but I mean it's kind of cool that you have that there to just kind of throw on a table in the background or throw on something. Um, You have like a whiskey bottle, beer bottle, water bottle, beer, a soda can, um, and thanks to Jay Gonzo, he let me know that this company, Super Action Stuff, that makes all this, they have it to where you can buy just the individual items themselves in whatever quantity. So, for example, with the mini fridge, I needed some soda cans in there. I wasn't sure if I had enough. Um, I've had enough soda cans. So I bought a bunch of their Super Action Stuff soda cans. Um, and they fit in there great. They don't roll around now that they're in there. So, but you can actually take those out of the mini fridge too. I made sure to measure it to make sure that if I wanted like Shaggy or Velma or Daphne or Fred or whatever that wanted to get like a soda from the back of the mystery machine, I have that option. Um, so I'm glad that they have that. I didn't even see this little ice cream cone. I don't know if I have that or not, but that's kind of a cool accessory to have in the summertime. Especially since it's going to be like scorched earth down here in the summer, which is not fun for con season because I have Frightmare in a couple of weeks, which is crazy that it's already like this close to Frightmare. And I have to get elbow pads for my Ghostbusters flight suit because that's what I'll be wearing this year. So if you end up going to Texas Frightmare, which is our horror convention, and you see a tall, lanky Ghostbuster, that is me. So feel free to say hi. Um, but yeah, Super Action Stuff. Great, great, great company. Ooh, great company. A lot more options on their actual website. So, like I said, you can buy all this stuff individually if you don't want a pack of it. Like if you wanted just soda cans, you could buy just soda cans. You could buy just tacos. You could buy. They have like a set that's 3 pizza boxes and like 6 or 8 slices of pizza. So you could have. I think it's like the pizza party pack or something like that. So you have options for that. Um, what else did I get? I got one wrestling figure, which is like I'm sure a lot of people are surprised that Alpha, who is a huge wrestling fan and has the worst wrestling takes on YouTube, would only buy one wrestling figure. And well, yeah, that's because I couldn't find this one in the store for some reason. And I don't understand why they just short pack the female figures, but it is the Elite Series 113, 113, I think. Tiffany Stratton. So Big Bad Toy Store had her for like a very short amount of time before she sold out, so I grabbed the one. Um, Really cool. I like it. This isn't technically her first figure. She had a basic before this. That was her first in the line. But this is her first elite in the line, and it's her only one so far. But it's based off of her Cowgirl Barbie gear that she wore at NXT. Was it Vengeance Day? I think, or one of the NXT takeover shows. But I really like it. It's a fun gear. She has a little cowgirl hat. She didn't come with this NXT title for some reason, but on the box she has the NXT title since this was a pay-per-view. This was a championship attire, but they didn't want to give her the title for some odd reason, so I robbed it off of Roxanne Perez that I have. Um, and she came with extra hands. They're like open hands, like these small hands like this. So she came with a set of those. But I like the gear. It's nice. It's pink, and Afa is a fan of pink. So, it's cool. It'll go on my shelf. I do need to figure out what I'm going to do with all my wrestling stuff. If I want to separate it from everything else, because I have a shelf here that isn't being used for anything in particular, and there's just a bunch of figures on there right now. So I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with that shelf. So that'll be something that we will figure out down the road. Um, but yeah, this Tiffany Stratton, great figure. A lot of people said this head sculpt doesn't look like her. I think it does. Um, it might just be like the smile that they chose for her, even though she was a heel at this time. She was a heel at this time, but they gave her a smiley face. But oh well. Yeah, it's a nice fun figure. I haven't really been going that hard on the wrestling figures as of recently, just because, well, their distribution sucks and you can't find any of them. And the ones that you want, you go on Ringside and they're like really expensive. Like, for example, I wanted a Will Ospreay figure because, well, I like Will Ospreay, and I've been a fan of him since his junior run in New Japan. And well, Ringside had him, and I had to he was on back order, so I had to like wait almost a month for him to go back in stock, and I think he was like 20 something dollars. He might have been like 27. But I've had him for a while, but I don't know. This gear is okay. The gear is okay. I don't know. It just feels very plain for Will Ospreay gear. I'm hoping that they give him his gear, like better gear for his Supreme collection, like more vibrant gear than just this, because it's kind of not. It's just very plain and boring. But the head sculpt for Will Ospreay is fucking awesome, and I love that I'm getting, like, slowly getting New Japan people that I enjoyed when I was like a frequent New Japan watcher. Like, I have a good Finn Balor. I have, or I guess, well, he was Prince Devitt in New Japan. Um, I have a couple of really good Kenny Omega figures. I have a really nice Jay White figure, a nice AJ Styles. I have Will Ospreay now. I'm waiting for them to make the Kazuchika Okada, because that one I am gonna have to pre-order because I'm never gonna find that in the store, and I'm pretty sure if they nail that Okada likeness, it's gonna probably sell out. So I gotta get the Rainmaker for sure. But it's nice that we're like slowly getting figures of New Japan people that we wanted for years. Like, I wanted Gorilla of Destiny figures. I wanted God figures, and now that they're both signed to WWE, we're getting those figures now. So it's cool. It's cool that, in terms of the realm of collecting, that you're able to eventually check off boxes that have been unchecked for years. So it's cool. But like I said, this isn't a new figure. I just was just, we were talking about wrestling figures, or I was talking about wrestling figures since no one's in here right now. Um, so, that's why that was brought up. I also have that Legends uh Elite series. Um, Kurt Angle, which I am probably gonna go grab that real quick and open that live as well, because I do kind of want to check out this figure and see, because if I remember correctly, I think I actually had this figure when I was a kid. I think I had the Jax version of this. So give me 1 second. Let me go grab it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went to open this Kurt Angle and I got fucking smacked in the hand by one of the plastic things in the box. So for some reason though, they gave him like the "you suck" pointing hands, and I don't think he was doing the "you suck" pointing hands at the time, but my god, is this head sculpt fucking awesome. This is technically technically this is Perk Angle, but we no longer call him Perk Angle. Um, because he did an interview with Chris Van Vliet, and he was asked about the whole Perk Angle thing, and he said that it was a really dark point in his life. Um, so now we just call him Peak Angle, which I think is even better because this was technically Kurt Angle at his absolute peak. And you could say, well, the 90s, the Attitude Era. True, but, you know, in like the 2000s, I feel like that was like Kurt Angle at his in his fucking prime. like wrestling machine Kurt Angle, like when he was wrestling for fucking the ECW. So this is the figure, and I was correct. This figure I actually had as a kid. I actually had this figure as a kid, which is fucking awesome. I had the Jax version of this exact gear. Like the wrestling boots are the same. The knee pads are the same. The gear is the same. Um, and I think the head sculpt was the same too. They just went and fixed it. But my God, is that a great Kurt Angle? Look at that face. The only thing that he's missing, which let me see if I have one. I don't know if I have one. I don't know if I have one on me. Let me go and see. If I have the World Heavyweight title, that's the only thing that he's missing right now. Okay, so I found it. So in the original renders they showed for this figure, he was supposed to come with this version of the big gold belt. But for some reason he didn't. They like took the belt out for some reason. I don't know if it was like, oh, it costs too much because God forbid it, $1.50 maybe to make the fucking belt. Frankie, what's going on, man? How are you? I'm gonna try to catch your stream on Sunday, man. And good luck on the stream tonight with the 3POA, man. And also appreciate you doing that NECA Rat King video because you found you got me a new song to put on my on my Spotify playlist. The Rat King is dead. That song was fucking awesome. It's got like a nice breakdown to it. Be part of the replay crew. Well, I'm only gonna go for an hour, so I'm definitely gonna try. But I work on Sundays, but I'll definitely try to pop in because I meant to pop in on your birthday stream and then I didn't, and I watched the replay and I was like, "Fuck, dude, this is too funny." I wish that I had jumped in when when he when he went live because Ninja was over here talking about baby oil and shit. I was like, "Oh fuck, I wish I was in the chat when all this was going on." Yeah, the song is good, man. But yeah, so this Kurt Angle, not bad, man. Not a bad Kurt Angle. I think if it was like an Ultimate Edition, if it was an Ultimate Edition and it had the butterfly joints and like an extra head sculpt of him with the mouth guard in like this, but like he was screaming or like it was like a yelling face, um I think this would have been better. You know, don't get me wrong, I like the elites, but some of the gear choices for the ultimate editions, you gotta go with the ultimate editions. Um, but yeah, this was I had this figure. Like I said, I had this figure when it was the Jax. When Jax was making the WWE figures, I had this Kurt Angle. I remember my grandma bought me this Kurt Angle when I think it was when I got my first wrestling ring. It was a WWE Jax ring, and it was like the plastic. It was like the plastic ones they sell now, but they you had to put stickers on the turnbuckles, and it was like the scratch logos, but they all peeled off over time because I just man, my matches were rough. All right, people were getting busted open. I I went and found all my older wrestling figures the last time I went to my aunt's house, and they all still have like fucking washable marker residue on the heads from them getting busted open. And I would make like fake like barbed wire bats and like endo sticks and stuff. It was rough. We were definitely breaking like OSHA laws for sure. Um and but yeah, I had this Kurt Angle. And it was cool. But the first wrestling ring I had, it came with a Jax Mick Foley, and it came with like a table that would break, and it had like these cardboard fire effects, so you could put someone through a flaming table. It was cool. I had a childhood friend who had matches with that same ring, but I didn't own any wrestling figures as a kid, so I brought my turtles instead. Hey, the Ninja Turtles are invading. Mikey's going for a snap suplex. Leo hit a 450 off the top. This is going crazy. The crowd is going nuts. You were put on 5-star classics with the Ninja Turtles. That's awesome though. But yeah, so that's all he came with was just the pointing hands. Which I still don't know why he came with pointing hands. Because he wasn't doing the whole you suck pointing at this time. He was like whooping ass in ECW. Um at the time because he asked to be drafted to ECW, and he was putting on like clinics. He was putting on wrestling clinics at ECW, and it was fucking awesome. Um, but yeah, great figure though. You know, this was the only figure I wanted from that Legends line was just this Kurt Angle. I was like, oh fuck, they're doing um like 0405 Kurt Angle like wrestling machine right before he left to go work in TNA and proceeded to put on some of the best matches of his career in TNA and like doing a fucking moonsault off of their steel cage is insane. If any of you are not like wrestling people, but you know who Kurt Angle is, go look up that match. I think it was TNA Lockdown where he climbed up the steel cage and did a perfect moonsault off the top and landed. It was fucking amazing, dude. That's why we call him Peak Angle. There was a whole pepperoni and jelly bean pizza in Triple H's face. I'm telling you, definitely could have. I didn't have that many wrestling figures. I think I had a couple of the Jax figures. I had some of the shitty like dollar store wrestling figures, and I had one Toy Biz TNA figure, and it was Jeff Hardy. And I told Gaines this when I did my first sit down with him, that I went to do a swanton bomb off of like one of the like wrestling ladders that they came with, and he fucking exploded. Like the I guess the glue in the torso separated, and like his torso just broke apart in two pieces. His arms flew off. His leg just or his head just separated from the body, and I was like, my Jeff Hardy fucking broke. I was like, no, Jeff Hardy. I was probably calling it like JR. My God, he's actually broken in half. My God, Jeff Hardy died. He's broken apart in 15 pieces. My God, get the paramedics out here, get the super glue. We gotta fix him. My God, Jeff Hardy's he's finally hit his peak. Um, so yeah, I had that Jeff Hardy, and now I'm glad that they make like better quality Jeff Hardy figures, because now they're at the point where like they could take a tumble off your shelf and you don't have to worry about it breaking or anything like that. Like these AEW figures, they're actually really good. Now I bought, so like for the first like 4 or 5 waves, I bought like almost everyone. Now I just cherry pick them. But now that they signed like New Japan talent that I was watching during like the prime of New Japan, like when Bullet Club was like a legit faction in New Japan, and you had um what was it? Naito's group, Los something. And then you had the House of Torture with you had the House of Torture with what the fuck is his name? They had him as Bullet Club leader for a period of time. But you had House of Torture, you had that faction. I think you had uh who else had a faction? I think Okada might have been in a faction. But it was fun. It was a fun time like watching New Japan. So but yeah, I'm glad that like I'm able to get a not shitty version of Velosprey as a figure, because Super 7 did New Japan figures and they were dog shit, and I unknowingly bought them because I thought, oh, these are going to be cool to take pictures with. No. No. They were fucking awful. They were terrible. I think the only good thing about them was like the titles that they came with, but that's about it. That is about it. Um so yeah, I'm glad that like Okada is going to be getting a figure pretty soon, and to get I'll be able to get an Okada for my New Japan shelf. Uh but yeah, so enough with the wrestling, because I know it's not for everyone. But yeah, so the Kurt Angle is awesome. That Tiffany Stratton, very nice figure. Um, the Cyberpunk figures are great. Um, Another figure that I bought, and I got it off AliExpress for the low price of $27. Um, and she's like, I think like a $40 figure. But I wanted it because I wanted to test out the quality of block keys. All right, and they have like Pokemon and Transformers and shit, but I'm not really that big into Transformers and Pokemon like that. I could probably name you like 5 Pokemon, but when I was a kid, they had like 150 Pokemon, and now they have like over 500. So yeah, no, I'm out of it. I'm out of it there. But I bought their Hatsune Miku figure, and I'm actually very impressed with the quality of this, because it feels like the Figma version. It feels like a Figma figure but for a quarter of the price, and you get approximately the same amount of accessories. Because Figma did a 2.0 of their Miku, and that figure on the secondary market, I think, is like over $130 plus right now. And this one came with 3 faceplates that already had like the printing on it. It had 3 where you could put the water slide decals on. It came with that guitar. It came with a keyboard. And it came with a mic stand with a mic that you could take out of her hand. And it came with her leeks that you could put in her hands. It came with like 8 sets of hands that you could put on the figure. So technically she has like 10 sets of hands. So yeah, and like everything actually stays together. Like nothing feels loose or cheap or anything like that. So I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised with Blockies in terms of their quality, especially for them being such a smaller company. I'm very surprised with that. So, you know, if you're into like the Blockies stuff, they have like a bunch of Pokemon that they put out, and I think they're putting out more. They have like Sesame Street and like 6 other new licenses that they just got was Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Motu, G.I. Joe, Godzilla, and Hatsune Miku, which they already put out a figure of her. There is another figure that they put out of her that's in like cherry blossom colors, and I was able to grab one before it sold out. And it has like a whole tree effect, like a whole tree diorama piece that is like the roots, and it has leaves in it, and it sits on a base, and it's big enough for her to actually physically sit in the tree, and it has like a picnic basket and like food items that you could put in the picnic basket, and it's really crazy how detailed the shit is in terms of like all the different accessories. So I did shoot her review yesterday, so I just need to kind of go in there and edit it and do all that next week. And then I just shot pictures for the review of these two over here, David and Lucy. So Alpha is in the process of making a comeback in terms of reviews, because I haven't done a review in probably almost 2 years, which is crazy to think about. Because there's people I know that crank out reviews, like 4 reviews in like probably a month, or at least in like 2 weeks. So, you know, I'm over here, I'm slacking, people. All right, I'm slacking, and that's a big no-no, I feel. For me personally, I feel like that's a big no-no for me to be doing. Um, but yeah, so look forward to that. I'm sure a lot of you will be very confused as to why I reviewed this. I get into it in the review. I get into it. But I think we're gonna open this now. Since we got 2 people in here and 3 likes. I appreciate that. Thank you for everyone that came in and stopped by. Oh yeah, this is something I wanted to point out too. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but they made her hair translucent, which is really cool. Pretty accurate effect too. Look how her hair captures light. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, you'll for anyone that cares to watch the review when it gets put up, you'll hear me talk about this. You'll hear me talk about this Hatsune Miku figure and gush over it. But Alright, this we're gonna open, we're gonna check it out. My only Mezco figure that I have now. I got rid of all my other Mezco figures, so now I only have one Mezco figure left. And it's this bad boy. It is the Mezco Ghostface. I can't wait. At our local horror convention we have down here every year, I have cosplayed my own version of Ghostface. If Ghostface was like a Yandere killer. And if you're curious what that looks like, you can check out my kind of personal but not really personal Instagram. That's all like horror related. Horror Haven 96 on Instagram. If you have Instagram, you can check it out. I have pictures of all my NECA figures and all my stuff I've gotten signed and people I've met and my Proton pictures of my Proton pack and stuff like that on there. So if you're interested, but we are gonna open this Ghostface because I want to check out all this. So it comes with was that four extra sets of hands, a bowl of popcorn, a remote control, four extra head portraits for the different masks, the Buck 120 knife, the kitchen knife, all the different slashing effects, the scythe, in the stand. So this was $95 before you put the NRD down, which I believe was like $9 or something like that. It was some price. Open it from the bottom. So it was some price, some ridiculous price. Just for the deposit, and this thing is pretty much sold out everywhere. So if you didn't get it when the get-in was good, then that's whatever, and that's fucking awesome. I love being able to open the box and see shit rolling around in the box. That's awesome. But in terms of what we have here out of the box, this is what we're looking at here. Ooh, Mezco Ghostface. Very excited. This is the only like horror movie figure that I have from Mezco. But I had to get the Ghostface. Scream is probably one of my favorites, I think. So I had to jump in and get it. Where the hell did the knife go? Alright, so we got the knives here. They don't even like plug in, they just kinda sit there. Ooh. Alright, so this one, I don't know if I'm going to do the review on my channel, just because I feel like it doesn't fit with the rest of my stuff. I might put it on my other channel. So if you're curious about like my thoughts on this, you'll have to check it out there, probably. But it does come with a little TV remote, which is kind of fucking cool. It has a TV remote and has all the buttons for the channels and all that stuff sculpted on there, which is cool. It has the Buck 120 knife, which is the iconic knife of Ghostface. You have a kitchen knife. You have all the different head portraits in here, which are all wrapped up. This one's cool. The like bloody well, kind of looks like it's in a condom, but the bloody version of it. This is the bowl of popcorn, which is kind of cool that he comes with this. It's like an actual bowl of popcorn. So cool accessories so far. I think the next tray probably has the scythe in it and the slash effects. Yeah. Yeah. So the next one has all the effects. So the scythe, all the slashing effects, the stabbed with the buck 120 knife effect there is really cool. And then behind that is the little Mezco baggie and the stand, which I never use those. But let's see how accurate they got with this figure, though. Because if anyone's going to be able to point it out, it's going to be me. Because like I said, I've seen Scream so many times, I could probably recite every single line by heart. So let's take this weird condom off of his head. Looks like they were like suffocating him. It's like a fucking bag you put over someone's head to suffocate them. Interesting. So they went with a wired. They went with a wired cloak for his thing here. I don't know how I feel about the cloak being so the way that it is. It like makes him look like really fucking fat. It reminds me of like that fucking meme of the Ghostface with the where it's like Scream's cousin Yell, and it's like a really big guy, like a husky guy in a Ghostface costume. Or what the fuck was it? It Scream's cousin Yell or some shit like that. So yeah, I don't quite know how I feel about that because I have both versions of the NECA one, the New York Comic Con one, and the original one from '96. And that one, I feel like the cloak is a little bit better. I mean, I like that it's that you could sit there and play with it, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of wish that they had. I don't know. Like they didn't put the seam here in the center. Like they had just put it in the back here, because that's what's throwing me off. Is this isn't here? I don't think on the actual costume. Um, these are also bendy wire. These on the sleeves. Those are also bendy wire. The boots look to be accurate. They're like combat boots. There's a particular brand of boots that all the Ghostface cosplayers get. But is he wearing like pants? Oh, yeah, he does. He has like soft goods pants underneath here. Oh, yeah, he does. Holy shit, he has. It's like a shirt and stuff underneath there. Interesting. But in terms of the mask looks good. Looks accurate. Um, in terms of like size, he seems to be pretty accurate too. So I'm not disappointed in it. I definitely feel like this is not $95 of a figure though. Um, but I'm not disappointed in it. Or well, I am a little disappointed in it. But I'm not gonna say like it's a piece of shit figure. It's just I don't know. For someone who's a huge Scream fan, and literally made my Ghostface costume from scratch, I I'm a little I don't know. I feel like it could have been done better. Like let me go over here and grab my let me go over and grab my fucking NECA Ghostface and show you what I mean. As I like almost rattle everyone over there. Uh, somebody. Oh. All right, so this is the New York Comic Con Ghostface right here. And see how the cloak looks better on this one than it does this one. There's no like seam or anything like that. That's how it's supposed to be. There's supposed to be no seam here. It's just supposed to be you slide it over your arms, you slide it over your body, and you just flip the hood up. And well, when you slide the mask on, then you flip the hood up, and that's how it's supposed to be. Here, it looks like it's like velcroed or something like that, and I don't remember it. I don't remember it looking like that. Although, let me do just a bit more. Oh, Jesus! Everyone's falling over. Let me look over here and see if that is actually accurate. Aha! See, I knew it wasn't fucking accurate. Oh, Mezco, you always find a way to fuck up something good. Yeah, so this isn't accurate. This isn't accurate. This ghost face is not accurate. They should have just put the seam in the back. Yeah. See how back here there's a seam that they stitch back there behind it. If they had flipped this, to where this had the seam running down the back and it was flat, right here, I would have had no issues with it. But I gotta deduct points for Mezco. Although it looks to be like a very fun figure with the TV remote and the popcorn bucket and the different knives, because not all not two ghost faces are the same. But they all have the Buck 120, which is I'm glad that they have it because this one has it. This one has it. The original has it. But it is kind of cool though to have like different sized ghost faces, because like I said, it's never the same person through multiple movies. Um so I'm kind of glad that there's a different version of it. Um Now that like I'm gonna be posing this around, like, like I've been posing David and Lucy around for pictures. It's not gonna be like that, but you know, um I don't know. I think give me like a couple days to like really get my thoughts in, and I will shoot a review and put it up on my other channel for this figure, because I don't know. I have a mix of emotions right now with this, because when I saw this figure for the first time and they had announced it, I was really excited, and when they put it for pre-order, I immediately pre-ordered it. Um and then it got delayed, and I was like, oh fuck. And then it finally hit my pile of loot like 3 months ago, and I was like, I'm gonna try to fill this pile of loot up as much as I can before I ship it. And then I did, and I don't know, it feels like a letdown in some ways. And I don't want it to feel like a letdown because like I said, I love Scream. It's one of my favorite franchises in terms of I don't want to be disappointed by it because it's one of my favorite horror franchises. Um and I remember when the lockdown was lifted, one of the first things I went to do was I went to the movies to see Scream 5. Um and that was the first movie I watched like post lockdown. Um and I remember like really enjoying it. And then I went and saw Scream 6 and really liked it. Um and I will be seeing Scream 7 uh you know, just to see how they do that. But yeah, I feel a little disappointed in him, uh, which is not good, especially if you spend almost $100 on a figure. You definitely don't want to be disappointed. So anyway, though, we hit over an hour, so I'm gonna end it here. Thank you to the few people that stopped by and talked. And go check out Frankie on the 3POA tonight with Ninja and Zakanin. And of course, check out Frankie this Sunday. He's going to be going live. Uh, and we like to support each other. So, um, yeah, go check out Frankie. He's got some great videos, short, sweet, to the point. He's got a very nice taste in music. Um, and yeah, at some point I gotta get Frankie on here. I think at some point for a sit down for us to talk because I think there's some good talking points that we can get going between the two of us. But anyway, that's it for me. Uh, stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that Blockies review of that Miku, and then I'm gonna try to get some more pictures taken with David and Lucy here. But yeah, expect some reviews soon. Alpha's gonna get back into doing reviews because I kind of miss it, and I feel like a lot of you are tired of me going live and actually want reviews. So yeah, stay tuned. And yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll end it here.